Right. Order. I will call David Morris to move the motion, and I will then call the Minister to respond. There will not be an opportunity for the member in charge to wind up, as is the convention for 30-minute debates. David Morris to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Efford. Mr. Efford, it's an absolute pleasure to do this debate under your stewardship. I just have to swap my glasses because, sadly, I'm at that age now I need readers. This debate is about Carnforth Station becoming the new headquarters of the Great British Railways. It's a national competition, and I do realise from the outset that the Minister can't say, well, it should come to Carnforth, and it's a competition. And in the spirit of that, I just want to set out on the record why I think it should be Carnforth. Carnforth, the location and geographical area of Carnforth, is centrally placed in the UK, connected north, south, east and west by rail. The community has facilities to host the new headquarters, hotels, with direct access to the city of Lancaster and Morecambe, soon to be the home of the prestigious Eden project. Involved in developing this application is myself, Town Council, Lancaster City Council, Lancashire County Council, who are assisting with information, Carnforth Chamber of Trade and Lancaster Civic Vision, the whole community, cross-party of the Lancaster district and the great people of Carnforth and the surrounding area. A special mention must be given to David Morgan and his team at Lancaster Civic Vision for compiling a petition of over 500 names so far from all over the Lancaster district. All of the political parties endorse this, as I've said before. This campaign on the Lancaster District Council has got unanimous support, and it has been confirmed to me this morning that Lancaster District Council will submit a formal bid. It is absolutely delightful, and it's great to see the Honourable Member for Lancaster and Fleetwood here also helping and assisting with this cross-party cooperation in trying to get Carnforth as the headquarters of the Great British Railway. I would be delighted, thank you.
Oh, I thank my honourable friend and neighbour for giving way there. And just to put on record how the bid by the Lancaster City Council is so cross-party unanimous. We have both represent parts of the Lancaster City Council district. The leader of that council is a Green Party councillor, and all of us have come together in order to make a bid for the north of Lancashire. Because if levelling up is to mean anything, does my honourable friend and neighbour agree with me that if levelling up is to mean anything, then we can't just see bids from government coming from the big cities, but from towns like Carnforth too. Wouldn't it be a shame if Lancashire was to get it, it would go to, say, for example, Preston ahead of Carnforth. Carnforth is a much stronger bid in the county than Preston. Would you agree with me?
I would totally agree with my honourable friend in this context and in this chamber. In short, the whole community in Lancaster and Morecambe, as you've seen, want to see Carnforth succeed in this bid as the site of the Great British Railways national headquarters. I must also pay homage to Councillor Peter Yates, MBE, for assisting me in writing this speech. For what he does not know about railways, especially Carnforth, is quite simply not worth knowing. The projected area for the headquarters could be based near Carnforth railway station or the surrounding area buildings, parking and land. There are plenty of sites nearby to build a new office block if needed, and for the local employees, the benefits to be gained are the kudos, connectivity, quality employment, and for the families to occupy new homes already being constructed, developing more opportunities for young people, for school places, and excellent local tourism. And we are very, very well situated for the nearby Lake District and Yorkshire Dales. This will boost our local economy. Carnforth is also a major crossroads in rail and road. Via rail from all directions, as I've said before, north, east, south and west. Via road, the M6 motorway has 2 slip roads. Other roads traverse east and west. M6 is less than 1 mile from the rail connections, and I believe is one of the quickest routes from the M6 motorway to the West Coast Main Line in the country. We have electric charge points in the surrounding area to promote low-carbon transport. Carnforth is the gateway to the coast, the dales, the lakes. As said previously, connects east coast to west coast by rail and road. It connects via Heysham Port to the Isle of Man and also Ireland. Carnforth has the world-famous tourist attraction, the home of the Brief Encounter, the David Lean film from, I do believe, the 1930s, 40s. And if you go to the Brief Encounter Cafe, there's a replica in there which is exactly like it is in the film. It's a fantastic experience. Carnforth has extensive rail heritage, associated listed buildings left over from the criminal era in rail history, of the scrapping of steam engines in the short-sighted beaching era. In the spirit of levelling up, new high-profile businesses are relocating to Carnforth. Businesses recently relocated, and some established, are Porsche South Lakes, Harwood International, Strong Doors, Castle Packaging, Abacus Resources, Logs Direct, Rickaby International, Lars Communications, Mastercraft, DPD Logistics, Lake Coast and Dale, Plus Flooring, Barnfield Developments and Thomas Plant. And we also have the Kearside Industrial Park and the Bridgeside Industrial Park. I hope I've left nobody out, and apologies if I have done so in advance, but this gives a business snapshot of what the opportunities of the Carnforth area have to offer. All recently completed as well. Carnforth has thought to establish the footprint of levelling up before the term was even thought up. So is the ingenuity and aspiration of the community I have the honour to represent. This new headquarters will be the icing on the cake for Carnforth. Also in building, currently underway, are 240 new homes, which are in construction and planning for a further 500 new homes along the way. A proposal to develop a sports complex and rail user groups and societies, many of which Carnforth have, promote battery electric locomotives to decarbonise our environment, and clean air is paramount in the ethos of our district. I'd love to.
If I may, and I hope I'm not digressing too much, Mr Effers, but it will be an opportunity for us both as local MPs to put on record our thanks to the Lancaster and Morecambe Rail Users Group, who continue champion rail travel in our area. And the honourable gentleman was making the point about Carnforth being the place that trains went to die. Wouldn't it be so poetic if it was the place where the Great British Railways headquarters was relocated?
That's actually a very fantastic sentiment, and I will allude to that later on in the speech, but it is true. We have a lot of railway heritage in Carnforth, and I thank the Honourable Lady for that intervention. As I previously stated, we connect to all cardinal points via rail and road. We must include connections to the Isle of Man and Island by Heysham Port. Carnforth has a direct link to Manchester Airport. This demonstrates connectivity that is the envy of other applications. We must not forget also the disabled access by ramps, disabled changing, cycle storage and routes, bus connections and secure parking. The community of Carnforth have raised £1.4 million for restoration and heritage work closely with Railtrack and worked later with Network Rail. Creating tourist visits in excess of 50,000 visits annually, and pre-COVID this was 240,000 rail ticket travel users using that station. Our unique location is key. All transport modes are catered for. Many precision high-tech skills are available in the area, and we have universities on our doorstep, technical colleges, and to our west, the Barrow Submarine Manufacture, nuclear power to the south with BAE Systems. Our workforce is geared up to assist. Links to the Lakes and Dales, a tourist hotspot, links to Manchester Airport and 4 country walk cycle tracks, coastal bird sanctuaries, parkland and the great halls of national heritage in the Lune Valley. A quality area linking all of the best of the UK and linking to the planned Eden North project. To conclude, Carnforth exists because of the railways. Carnforth is steeped in railway connectivity and heritage. Carnforth is known the world over as Steam Town. Carnforth hosts the last complete steam railway depot, crying out for new life to be injected into the many listed historic structures. The site is now occupied by West Coast Railways, once one of the UK's largest heritage rail operators. The love of rail is in the DNA of Carnforth. Railtrack have depots and offices located close, showing an established rail expertise, and further personnel and workforces will enhance the community's heritage. As my honourable friend from Lancaster and Fleetwood said in her last remarks, this is where the trains come to die. And it is now fitting that this regeneration scheme must consider Carnforth as the place where the future UK railway for the next century at least started. Thank you, Mr. Effers.
Thank you. Mr Efford. First of all, I'd like to thank my friend, the Honourable Member for Morecambe and Lunesdale, for securing this debate today. While this is my first debate on the subject of the Great British Railways, or GBR, headquarters location, I am very, very aware that this is the third debate that has taken place in this chamber, with previous ones on the merits of Darlington and York. And I have to say, it's really heartening to see the way in which honourable members up and down the country who are doing fantastic work, supporting bids of their towns and cities. Mr Efford, railways are something that is close to my heart. Both my parental grandfathers actually worked on the railways, one in Wensleydale and the other one in County Durham. And I found out only just recently that my dad was actually born in a railway cottage. So I do have an understanding of the importance of the industry, but also the amazing rail heritage that we have up and down and across this country. As my honourable friend has set out, Carnforth has a significant rail heritage. At its peak, Carnforth was a meeting point between three major railways, growing into an important railway town. And I know my honourable friend touched on Brief Encounter, the film. And yes, when the English film director, Sir David Lean, was looking for a railway station to film the 1945 classic Brief Encounter, it was no coincidence that the Carnforth railway station became the backdrop to such a romantic movie. And today the film is one of many attractions at the Carnforth Station Heritage Centre. In addition to this, Carnforth is the headquarters of West Coast Railways, which operates several regular steam trains, most notably the Jacobite, giving passengers the opportunity to travel on historic steam locomotives. So for this reason alone, I know that Carnforth will continue to have an important role, Mr Efford, to play in our railways. Now, of course, as my mailbox is great evidence of, there are also many other towns and cities across the country that have played an important part of our proud railway heritage and which honourable members are very proud to represent. And I look forward to seeing the many outstanding applications we are going to get for the new GBR headquarters when the competition closes on the 16th of March. Yes, of course.
I thank the Minister for giving way, and I hadn't realised her railway credentials in terms of a parentage, and clearly she was born to do the role she's doing today. One of the restrictions that stopped some towns from being able to bid for the GBR headquarters is that if they're not currently connected to the rail network, they're not eligible. I'm also the Member of Parliament for Fleetwood, which is not on the rail network. It's now been about 2 years since residents of Fleetwood have promised that the railway will be brought back to the town. I believe that the Prime Minister visited just ahead of the 2019 general election and promised us this. Can she give us any update, if it's permissible, Mr Efford, about when we might be seeing that?
Thank you, Mr Efford. The Honourable Lady is right to highlight Fleetwood, but I'm sure she understands that I'm not in a position to give her an update today. Let me move on to the William Shapps Plan for Rail, because, as honourable members will be well aware, the William Shapps Plan for Rail, which was published in May 2021, set out the path towards a truly passenger-focused railway, underpinned by new contracts that prioritise punctual and reliable services, the rapid delivery of a ticketing revolution, with new flexible and convenient tickets and long-term proposals to build a modern, greener and accessible network. And central to the William Shapps Plan for Rail is the establishment of a new rail body, GBR, which will provide a single, familiar brand and a strong, unified leadership across the network. It's worth noting that GBR will be responsible for delivering better value and flexible fares and the punctual and reliable services that passengers deserve. Bringing ownership of the infrastructure, the fares, timetables and planning of the network under one roof, it will bring today's fragmented railways under a single point of operational accountability, ensuring the focus is delivering for passengers. And GBR will be a new organisation with a commercial mindset and a strong customer focus. It will also have a different culture to the current infrastructure owner, Network Rail, and very different incentives from the beginning. GBR will have responsibility for the whole railway system, with a lean national headquarters as well as regional divisions. And the national headquarters will be based outside of London and will bring the railway closer to the people and places that it serves, ensuring that skilled jobs and economic benefits are focused beyond the capital, in line with the government's commitment to levelling up. And so the competition that was launched by the Secretary of State on the 5th of February 2022, and the GBR transition team are now welcoming submissions from towns and cities from across Great Britain. Prospective local authorities are being asked to submit a short expression of interest to the GBR transition team, explaining why they are best suited to meet a set of 6 criteria for the national headquarters. And Mr Efford, these are alignment to levelling up objectives, connected and easy to get to, opportunities for GBR, rail heritage and links to the network, value for money and public support. And the GBR transition team will then create a shortlist of the most suitable locations, which will go forward to a public consultation vote, and ministers will make a final decision on the headquarters location based on all of the information that we have gathered. As I mentioned before, applications for the competition close on Wednesday the 16th of March, and I look forward to receiving lots of applications. As I previously mentioned, alongside a new national headquarters, GBR will have regional divisions responsible and accountable for the railway in local areas, ensuring the decisions about the railways are brought closer to the passengers and the communities that they serve. The GBR divisions will be organised in line with the regions established in Network Rail's Putting Passengers First programme, which reflects how passengers and freight move across the network today. Cities and regions in England will be given greater influence over local ticketing, services and stations through new partnerships between regional divisions and local and regional government. And initial conversations are starting with local stakeholders on how these partnerships can best work. But the new GBR HQ that we are talking about today is not the only way that this government is focused on levelling up the railways. The government published the Integrated Rail Plan on the 18th of November 2021, and it's an ambitious strategy setting out £96 billion worth of investment into the railways of the North and the Midlands to be delivered over the next 30 years. And this plan sets out how the government will deliver real and meaningful improvements to communities in the North and the Midlands and support economic growth by transforming both east-west and north-south links. I'm really grateful to my right honourable friend, the member for Morecambe and Lunesdale, and the honourable lady, the member for Lancaster and Fleetwood, for sharing with me a little bit more insight into Carnforth and its railway heritage. And like all the other bids, I look forward to us receiving those in due course. Just in conclusion, though, the reforms proposed under the William Shapps Plan for Rail will transform the railways for the better, strengthening and securing them for the next generation. The reforms will make the sector more accountable to taxpayers and government. They will provide a bold new offer to passengers of punctual and reliable services, simpler tickets and a modern, green and innovative railway that meets the needs of the nation. Whilst transformation on this scale cannot happen overnight, the government and the sector are committed to ensuring the benefits for passengers are brought forward as quickly as possible. New national flexi season tickets are already on sale, and the transition from the emergency recovery measures agreements to new rail contracts is underway. GBR will be an organisation that works in tandem with the local communities that it serves. It will be designed to have the structure to become yet another example of this government's historic commitment to levelling up the regions across the nation. And to honourable and right honourable members, both the government and the GBR transition team welcome your interest and your advocacy for your respective cities and towns, and welcome your participation in the competition for GBR's headquarters, so that together we can deliver the change that is required. And we really look forward to building this new vision for Britain's railways in collaboration with the sector and communities, and the launch of the GBR headquarters is one of the many steps that we are taking to achieve that.
The question is that the House has considered Carnforth's bid to become the headquarters of the Great British Railways. As many of that opinion say aye. Contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Order, order. We are adjourned until 4:30. Or, yeah.
We say that and then.
Suspended.
I think
If they arrive early, we can start.
4:20.